Welcome to the Gene Shepherd Center, Hammond's 5th District. We're here for Mayor's Night Out. As we typically do, at the start of every Mayor's Night Out, we bring up the host councilman and have the host councilman address the crowd. So let's give it up for your councilman, 5th District Councilman Dave Werpel.
Thank you. I want to welcome you to the 5th District again. This is hard for me to believe, but this is my 10th one of these already. And I never really know what to say during these. I don't want to bore you with 100 blocks and what we've done in the past and all that. Since our last one, we've redone this building, and I think it's a great use of this building because there were nights I'd come in here, see 5 or 6 kids shooting baskets, and that's it. Now every time I come in here, this building's full. 173rd Street out here got repaved. 169th, it's we got to get creative because of the funding nowadays with the use of grants and gaming dollars and other ways to raise revenue. Thing I'm most proud of is the pond out here and the fish we put in there. You know, I don't know how many fishermen are in here, but I've been told that the state record tilapia has come out of this pond 2 years in a row, so I guess that's what you get at Long John Silver's, though. But I want to thank, because I don't hear it, the people around me here don't get credit enough for what they do. And as an example of that, the other day, Monday, at 8:30, I got a phone call from a lady I used to work with that lives in my district asking me to pick up garbage. And I said, I'll make a phone call for you. And while I hung up, I went and got a cup of coffee, and she's calling me back, and she's like, man, are you good? They were already out here picking it up, and I had nothing to do with it. But our code enforcement people, from the police department to the department heads in every department, I'll tell you guys do a great job, and I thank you for that. And with that, Mayor.
I was right in the middle of eating popcorn when Dave turned over the mic to me. I think we've had a couple hundred Mayor's Night Outs. I could safely say this is the first one we've ever had with popcorn. So I encourage you all to go get popcorn. Thank you. Courtesy of the Gene Shepherd Center. Thank you very much. Flick's Tavern, I imagine, had something to do with that. We do have a restaurant behind us that was part of the expansion of the Gene Shepherd Center, was Flick's Tavern, which is right behind us. It's built to accommodate the pickleball players and the public. So we wanted to do Mayor's Night Out in this building to show you what we've done. Obviously, Dave talked a little bit about converting it to a pickleball facility. But anyway, we'll wait to get into that once we start Mayor's Night Out. Let's go ahead and get started with Mayor's Night Out by introducing the department heads. We'll go ahead and start on on your right.
Felix Gonzalez, Public Works. Chris Campbell, Information Technology. Jim Talon, Park Department.
Megan Flores, City Controller.
Andy Short, Police Department.
Bernie Grizzlia, Hammond Fire. Juan J. Moreno, Economic Development.
Jeff Smith, Port Authority.
Awana Miller, Community Development.
Andrea Lewis, United Neighborhoods, Inc.
Jaime Prieto, Water.
Ron Novak, Environmental Management.
Brian Poland, City Planning. Scott Miller, Chief of Staff.
Kevin Smith, Corporation Counsel.
Ann Taylor, Planning and Development.
Dean Button, Engineering.
Bob Vale, Building.
Kelly Kearney, Inspections Department.
Jack Smith, Sewer Maintenance.
Mylan Krasinski, Sanitary District.
Chris Sakalaris, Legal Aid.
Bill Luter, Code Enforcement.
All right. Now it's Alex. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, Alex Sahara, Constituent Services.
Alex is taking the mic today along with Sharon.
Sharon Daniels, Personnel and College Bound.
Alex and Sharon are going to be taking the mics today. Usually we have the special events coordinator on the mic, but the special events coordinator is also extremely pregnant, and we gave her the night off. So, and I think that's a good deed for doing that. So, Eileen, we're all thinking about you and wishing you well. I don't think Eileen's going to be at the 6th District Mayor's Night Out either. So, wish you the best. Looking forward to getting you back to work next year after everything goes well. So, I also want to thank our interpreter, Kathy Curtis. Thank you very much, Kathy. It's a great opportunity to let you all know to speak a little slower, myself included. We are on Go Hammond TV. It's being aired live, and it's streaming also if you want to watch it afterwards. But that's why we have Kathy up here, so she can communicate with the residents that have trouble hearing what we're talking about. So please, and then if you have a question in the audience, they're going to come up to you with a microphone. We know you're really loud, and I could hear you, but it's not about that. It's about the TV audience. So if you could wait until the microphone gets to you to ask your question so that the TV audience can hear what's going on as well. We've done a lot of mayor's nights out. We have a pretty good, we understand now pretty well how it works. It's all generated by the written question. I got Christy Orms back there. Hi, Christy. Christy's here with the written questions. I got Noemi. Hey, Noemi's in the back also. Christy and Noemi could get you the written question if you have a question about anything in regards to City Hammond, anything really, but we try to keep it contained to the City Hammond. We'll do our best to answer it. If I don't know the answer to your question, I got somebody right here that usually has a pretty good idea what's going on, and we do our best. If you fill out a written question, it has name and address on there. You don't have to put it. We want you to put it so that we can follow it up. Sometimes, I saw there was one really long question today. And even though we're not going to read off every word of that really long question, obviously this person prepared very well for Mayor's Night Out. We appreciate that. We're going to give it to the department heads, and they're going to respond to it. So we ask you to please put your name and address on there. But if you don't, we'll still read off your question. Okay? If we're talking about the Gene Shepherd Center in Dowling Park, and you have a question about the Gene Shepherd in Dowling Park, raise your hand, and we'll come up to you. But if you have a question about, you guys did a crummy job on snow removal last year, we ask that you do that as a new topic and fill out a written question for that. We try to stay on topic, okay? That's it. That's how we run it. Thank you for coming to Mayor's Night Out. Mayor's Night Out. We have a lot of elected officials here, so if you don't mind, I appreciate them all being here, and I want to go ahead and recognize them, starting with our host councilman. He's also the council president, Dave Werpel. Thank you very much, Councilman. We have also from Hammond's 2nd District, Councilman Al Salinas. Thank you very much, Councilman. From Hammond's 4th District, we have Councilman Bill Emerson. Thank you very much, Councilman. From Hammond's 6th District, our neighbor in Hessville, Councilman Scott Rakos. Thank you very much, Councilman. We have a councilwoman at large, Janet Venez. She lives in the 4th, and she's here. Thank you. We have Councilman Dan Spitali, a resident of the 5th. He's also here. Good to see you, Dan. We also have a resident of East Chicago, who's also our North Township trustee, Adrian Santos. Thank you very much, Trustee Santos, who comes to every Mayor's Night Out, and I appreciate that. I've been mayor a long time, and I've seen a lot of trustees. Trustee Santos is the first trustee that's gone to every Mayor's Night Out, and I think that's important. I really do, because he's there to serve the community. And what better place to be than in Hammond, where we're talking about problems we're having. So I appreciate you being here, Trustee. I also want to recognize past elected officials that are here. And I would be remiss if I did not introduce a resident of Hammond's 5th District now. He moved to the 5th District. He's a neighbor of mine. He is also our county councilman, Dave Ham. I'd also like to thank our former councilman in the 5th District. He's currently a member of the Park Board, as our former 5th District Councilman, Michael Pinker. Thank you very much for being here, Councilman. I also would like to thank former Councilman Robert Markovich for being here as well, former at-large councilman. All right. Thank you all very much for being here. It's nice to see so many people again. Our next Mayor's Night Out after tonight is 2 days before Halloween at Harding Elementary School on October 29th. So mark your calendars, that'll be the last one of the year. We do 6 a year, 1 in each district. We go 1 through 6. So anyway, how are we doing on questions, guys?
Good. Have a few questions.
All right. And keep on filling out those questions if you want to keep going. We're more than happy to keep answering. So, all right, who's got the first one?
The first one is, since we're at the Gene Shepherd Center, it's regarding the Gene Shepherd Center.
How convenient.
The center hosts pickleball games. Has there been any consideration for hosting lightsaber duels?
I like this. First off, Jim, grab a microphone, would you? Look
Over
at that.
here.
Look at that. Jim, I can just tell you from where I sit, I did notice what Councilman Werpel was talking about. We ran the Gene Shepherd Center for the first 20 years I was mayor, and I'm not going to tell you it was never busy. It was busy when we'd have events, but if it was just a normal Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, You come in here, like Councilman said, maybe you see a couple basketball courts going, or maybe a dozen people in here. It was generally pretty deserted most of the time. Jim approaches me, and he's constantly challenging the way we do business, which I appreciate in a department head, is, not just doing it because that's the way we've always done it. Jim approaches with an idea. He's got a group out of the Mansards and over in Griffith, and this group is 219 Pickleball, and they are looking for a new home. And they're basically saying, if you guys would think about converting to pickleball, we have hundreds of people that show up on a regular basis to play pickleball over here in the Mansards, and quite frankly, the building's falling apart. We need a new home. And we made the investment. Jim talked me into it. I bought hook, line, and sinker. We made the investment. We converted this facility from the basketball/soccer open space it was, and we converted it into what you see now. And I can tell you from where I sit, it's night and day. This place is slammed. I know I'm talking to neighbors, so this is no news to you, but we do have a TV audience. I have routes through the city, I do, and one of my route stops is right here. I want to see this building with my own eyes. I want to see how many cars are in the parking lot. I'm not telling you I walk in the building every time, but you can tell how busy it is by driving by. Like right now, the parking lot's full. We're overflowing into the back. That's how busy it is on a Tuesday morning during pickleball season. Or you come here on a Saturday, forget about it. You have to wait in line to get onto one of these courts, and they're all 4 players playing on each court. It's just busy. So what we've done is really transformational. And I'm super proud to be the mayor when we do things like this. And I want to say thanks to Jim for pitching this idea to us. Thanks to my team for selling the idea to the public. And I think that we're reaping the benefits of it right now. So Jim, why don't you go ahead and grab a microphone and talk a little bit about it as well from your perspective.
Yeah, so what we do every morning during the weekdays from 9 to 12, there will be pickleball leagues in here. You go through 219 Pickleball, there's information over there for you. And then from 12 to 5, it's open to the public. It's open to Hammond residents. If you want to learn how to play, if you want to come try without a bunch of people being around, that's the perfect time to do it. Really affordable to come in and just play with some friends. And then from 5 to 9, the pickleball group comes back in with their evening groups. And like Mayor said, most of the times, once we get into October, November, December through the winter months, this place is slammed every single night. So, but there are opportunities for Hessville residents to come in, learn how to play. I'm here most days. We have staff that can teach you how to play the game if you're unfamiliar with it and a little uncomfortable coming in with a bunch of people. And then as Mayor said, on Saturdays and Sundays, it's unbelievable. We did not expect what we get, but there are people that drive from an hour and a half away to come play pickleball here on the weekends. We have people from downtown Chicago that drive here every single Saturday to play pickleball because it's open, the facility is so nice, and we have 12 courts where most places you go to have 6, 7 courts, so the waits are long. So there will be 150 people here on a Saturday and Sunday. And as Mayor mentioned, the lounge is open tonight. We kept it open for everybody if you just want to go in and see it. We have birthday parties, different things that we can host here as well. That will be separate from the pickleball. So I think that really covers everything. But
what about the lightsaber fights?
On the lightsaber, we're open. So I see Chrissy's over here. Chrissy Nelson is the building manager. We're open to any event that you guys want to do. We do events, especially in the summertime. It's nice outside, so people want to play pickleball outside. I know we did an MMA event in here. There have been things like that have happened. Great time to do birthday parties, things like that. I know I see some corporate people here that bring their whole team out to do a corporate event out here as well. So those things are available. We're open to anything if you want to do. I know we did the air flyers come in here and do the model airplanes, things like that. So you just talk to our staff here and they'll set you up. And if you have enough people, we'll rent you the space.
Thanks, Jim. Any follow-ups on that? All right. Knocked off the first one.
All righty. Next one. Are there any plans for the old Woodmore Mall letters that are currently being stored?
No. I have no plans for them, but I would pass the mic to a member of my team that has a lot to do with Hammond's Historical Preservation Commission and Hammond's history in general, and he's our city planner, is Brian Pullen. Hi, Brian. How you doing?
Thanks.
Are you storing those letters in your office? I was wondering where they're stored.
You know, there is no room in my office.
Right.
No, actually, they are stored over at one of the sanitary district buildings.
Okay.
And no, we haven't really had any discussions as what to do with them.
But they're safe and stored.
At the moment, yes.
Okay. I don't know if the person who wrote the question wants to follow that up.
Mayor, this ended up on social media.
Oh, good.
Maybe 2 weeks ago. I saw them about 2 months ago they're in very poor shape. When we took them down, they were in poor shape. So they would need significant restoration, if not just being made again to be restored.
Yeah, okay. That's sad. Internet question, follow-up? All right. Oh, in the back. Hold on 2 seconds, sir. How you doing, sir?
Fine. How you doing, Mayor?
Good, thanks.
I'm just curious. I've been here 25 years. I've spoke to you maybe a few more years back at his doing, questioning about having speed bumps around here. I live on Parrish Avenue.
Thank you. Good question.
And I mean, it's an accident waiting to happen.
Okay.
I've had my car hit twice already, and people just going too fast. You'll see them doing 40, 50 miles an hour going past the building here and on Parrish Avenue.
Okay. Okay, we'll go ahead and take this as a question and a topic. I get asked this a lot, okay? I can tell you that when I took over as mayor some time ago, the city engineer at the time told me it was basically illegal to put speed bumps up. Was it, Kevin? I know in time we found out that wasn't the case, but was it then and it changed?
Yeah, you're going back,
Yeah.
that was our
20
former
years ago.
city engineer's stance on them. And it kind of depended on whether you looked at it from a local enforcement situation versus like a state
So it was never
statute.
illegal.
I would never say it was like illegal. There were situations where there were speed bumps in alleys which were put up privately. So in other words, you couldn't privately put up your own speed bumps, right?
Right.
That's not
I
going to
know
happen.
one up top of my head where
Yep.
up in Whiting. they did
Exactly.
that, right.
Yep. So that was definitely illegal. But there's nothing necessarily on its face illegal about speed bumps, Mayor.
So when I took over as mayor, I had an engineer that's been on the job for, at that point, 30-something years. He did not like them. He basically told me, we don't like them. If you put one up, you're going to have 10,000 of them up, Mayor, because you have a great case to make. I have a great case to make where I live. I'm sure we could talk to plenty of neighbors in here that can make a case that we should have a speed bump. And with earnest, with honesty, with earnesty, and quite frankly, I agree. However, we also have challenges in the city, Hammond. One of them is snow removal. So I'm going to pass the mic off to Felix. Hi, Felix. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
And I'm not trying to make you the bad guy here, Felix.
No,
but I can
fine.
tell you, when it snows, I get PTSD as mayor. Because when it snows, as wonderful as we all are, people get mean when it snows. We have 300 miles of streets, not counting alleys. And if it's snowing over a period of hours, we'll scrape the streets 3 times, 4 times just to clear them so that we could drive on them, right? And we have residents that are unreasonable. I'm not saying you're here. I'm not saying it's anybody in this room. I'm saying there's people out there that are just unreasonable. And they're screaming at us from the moment snowflakes hit the ground, talking about how lazy we are, how corrupt we are, how we're petty, we're pushing snow in people's driveway. So we're dealing with just noise when it snows. And if we had speed bumps everywhere, that would be that much more challenging. And I'm not saying no, sir. I'm just pointing out there's a bigger, hold on 2 seconds. I want to go to Felix. Felix, you actually sat in those trucks and you drive those snow plows, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
What's your opinion on this matter?
I'm not a huge fan of them.
But as a neighbor though, would you like a speed bump in front of your house?
No.
Why, because you're a public works guy?
No, just, so I hit one in my wife's car in Chicago. Didn't see it blended in with the street. Didn't pay attention to the sign. Might have been covered with some brush. I hit it going 15 miles an hour and launched my car. So I'm not really a huge fan of them, but
Okay,
that's
you
just my
personally.
opinion.
No, that's fine, and you're allowed to feel the way you do, right? But now, public works wise, how does that affect your job once we start laying speed bumps all over?
I think if one of my guys is out for 20 plus hours and doesn't, see where it's at, or it's covered by snow and he doesn't, see the sign, because you can't always see signs. If snow's coming in at an angle, the signs will get covered, right? The snow sticks to the signs and get covered, and if he doesn't see it, he could damage our plows.
Because the plows are literally 1/8 of an inch off the ground, right?
They drag on the ground, yeah.
They drag on the ground. So if you hit a plow, if you hit a speed bump going 40 miles an hour,
We try not to go that fast, but yeah, 20, 25, it's still going to cause significant damage.
So
And if not, destroy the street too. So
that's the other side of the story, sir. And it's And I appreciate your question, so we'll come back.
What about the safety of the residents?
Yeah,
When it's not snowing, walking across the street or walking your dog or whatever. I'm serious. People be driving 50, 55 miles an hour just going down the street for no reason. No
Right.
reason.
And you live right over here, you're saying?
Right on Parrish Avenue, 25 years.
Especially like,
Yeah, just in front of my house, not just along this road right out here, this frontage road. They even do it like they're on the highway. And I live on Parrish, and they do the same thing. Run the stop signs. You got 2 stop signs stacked on each other, one above the other. That ain't doing nothing.
Chief, where are you? Hey, Chief, could you grab a microphone?
What was your address again, sir?
He's on Parrish Avenue, just, we don't want to put it out over there.
Okay.
Okay, and maybe, I appreciate your question. You didn't fill out a question, but I appreciate this. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm going to put a speed bump in front of your house, but I appreciate
I mean, they hit my car twice already.
I know.
Twice. I've been here 25 years, Mayor.
I know. I appreciate you bringing it up. Thank you, sir. Okay? I mean, it's legit what you're saying. It is, but it's legit what they're saying. It's just one of these issues.
Are there any other city parks that don't have speed bumps?
There's no speed bumps in the city of Hammond, sir.
None?
None? None.
That ain't right.
Once we put one up, it opens the floodgate, and that's the fear. And so, like, if we were going to do this, okay, we'd have to have tight controls. There would have to be a procedure in place. Like, I think if we were going to do one, this makes sense, what you're talking about over here, right? But proximity to schools would have to be taken into consideration, things like that. Because I hear a lot of stories like yours, sir, I do. And then the easy political answer would be, yes, sure. And then somebody's like, hey, I want one too. Yes. I got this one over here. Yes. And then, hey, I'm a Knickerbocker. Yes. Oh, over here. Yes. 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 Felix is like,
It's the right thing to do.
I appreciate
so
that.
nobody gets hurt.
I appreciate that,
Kids,
sir.
Kids cross the street all the time. All the time.
Okay. I appreciate your question. I can't hear you. What's that?
This place gets busy. The park gets busy. I mean, there's a lot of pedestrians out there. I think safety first.
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you for bringing it up, okay? I'm not blowing you off, I promise you. I'm completely listening to you. Okay, thank you. All right.
Next
No-
question.
Yeah.
I have a house next to mine that people bought who lived in Illinois. They decided to move back to Illinois and rent the house out. This is on Arizona. They have no rental permit, and the renters are moving into the home now. Can you please check this out?
Yeah.
And I do have the address.
Awesome. Could you forward that to code enforcement, to Bill? Attention, Bill Luter. Bill, why don't you grab a microphone? Bill's, this is your first mayor's night out as the head of code?
I was at 4th District.
Okay. That was probably right after you were chosen then, right?
Just about, yeah.
Bill's the head of code enforcement. You're a 5th District resident, right, Bill?
Yes.
All right. In fact, yeah, I'll do that next. We're going to forward this to you. Bill, could you talk a little bit about if you wanted to convert your property over to a rental registration the way you're supposed to do it?
Right, if you're going to transfer your property over from owner-occupied to rental, once you enter that lease agreement, you have 30 days to come down to the city, fill out the registration form, pay your $5, and get the property listed. Then that property has to be listed every year by April 15th. We set it at tax day, so it's an easy date to remember. You have to come in and renew that. It's $5. If you don't do the $5, you're looking at a $500 late fee.
And we go for the $500 on the late fee.
Yes.
And the reason it's $5 and it goes to $500, it's a safety thing. We want to know who your tenants are. We want to know who the landlord is. We want to know the emergency contact numbers. We have emergencies at these locations, and sometimes it's hard to find the homeowner. So if we have this list, it's easier and better for us to be able to respond to emergencies at your location. We could charge $5 for that. We can't charge much more, but we could charge $500 on the penalty, and when we go for it. Kevin, do you have anything you want to add to that, Corporate Counsel?
Sure, and we see this at Board of Works a lot. If you are a landlord and you miss the deadline, but you've never had trouble before, you can appeal to the Board of Works, and a lot of times if it's your first offense, they'll waive the late fee. The other thing is there's a huge window to register this every year. You can start on January 1st, and you can go through April 15th. There are reminder cards that go out, but just because you don't get a reminder card doesn't mean it's not owed. It's $5. Additionally, what we have done with certain cases, if you ignore the letter that we send out asking you to contact us because you're late, we have taken people to court. We've obtained civil judgments. That sits on your property, and I would say 5 to 10 times a year when houses are transferred, maybe a little bit less than that, let's call it 5 times a year, when houses are transferred, they have to deal with that judgment on their property. So we do enforce this because it's important, as the mayor said, for the information that are on the forms.
Thanks, Coach. Any follow-up on that? How you doing, sir?
Yeah, we had a fellow come to our Crime Watch meeting last month, and he brought up an interesting point about this, and I was wondering if you could comment on it. He said that in his particular district, landlords are owning these properties, but they're not living there, and they're getting the homestead property tax, and he's wondering how is that possible that they can apply for the homestead when they don't actually live into that property?
It's illegal.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. No. No, Mayor's right. It's illegal. It's actually you can be cited with an infraction because of that. Now, what I can tell you is in a city with 80,000 people and 40,000 or so places to live, it's an ongoing issue. And when it comes to our attention, I know that Bill and I just had this conversation with Mr. Kearney, who's head of inspections, who's head of Bill's department, on the process. We do take, I'm not kidding you when I say this, a couple times a month we do take homesteads that are illegal down to the county and they remove them. So it's just an ongoing issue. And if you have one that you think is, please let Mr. Luter know, and I'm sure we'll get the forms going on it.
That's no good for us either. It's no good for anybody. They're tax cheats. You know, we're all paying our taxes and paying for our government. So if they're cheating you too. They're cheating all of us. So thank you.
And Mayor, if I could, that one did come to me at the 4th District meeting. We've since had that homestead removed.
Good. Thank you. I know we do regularly go to crime watches. My staff, we have people that's part of their job is to show up to events like that. So I would like to think when issues like this come up in crime watches or whatever public meeting it is, it comes back to the team so we can react to it. So thank you for bringing it forward. Okay.
Mayor, can you mention too how residents can report on 311 if they know about this?
Go ahead.
Okay. We have the 311 app in the city, right? And you can report issues like this if you feel like on your street or your block that you have some strong knowledge that there's illegal renting going on. You can report it on 311 anonymously. So consider that if you don't want to get your name involved, and that's something that would come to Mr. Luter and he can follow up that way. And we've had some of those in my time here at the city already, and what Mayor's alluding to is we're getting less revenue when people are not being honest about how they're using their property.
Thanks, Scott. Hammond 311, if you're wondering what we're talking about, people in this room should have 311 downloaded onto their phone because you're a community type of person. And it gives you the ability to do so many things from your smartphone, from reporting graffiti to crime tips to, a myriad of different issues that you could bring up. And when you send it in, let's say it was illegal dumping, it goes right to the department that needs to take care of that problem. And Felix, grab a microphone. I always do this because Felix in Public Works is probably one of the heaviest departments. Code Enforcement's another one, okay? Public Works, though, we'll get, they call them C-click fixes overnight. And then what's the first thing you do when you get to work the next morning?
We have someone check them. We have them monitored daily. Our office staff, when they get in at 8, they'll write out tickets, and our supervisor come pick them up at lunchtime, give them to their guys. We have 2 trucks that one is strictly for junk, the other's for brush. If you get it, that's all they do is go.
C-click fix is like one of the primary drivers that work for you, right?
We literally have someone monitoring it and constantly communicating with our dispatch to get it picked up.
So you can take cuts. Let me tell you, it's funny. I used to have a councilman that I would get on because the councilman insisted on going the old-fashioned way. The councilman would be like, I have illegal dumping. I'm going to call the mayor's office. He calls the mayor's office, says, Mayor's office, there's illegal dumping right here. And we're like, Councilman, why don't you do it on 311? Why don't you call it directly to the department? Because sometimes it takes me a day to get that message. And then a day later, keep in mind, this stuff has been dumped illegally for a day. Then I get the message at the mayor's office. I'm like, why is the councilman giving it to me here? And then I forward it to Public Works. And maybe it takes another day before it gets to Public Works, another day that the junk is laying out there. And then Public Works gets it, and they're like, why did they do it this way? Why don't they just do 311? And then the next day, Felix will send his people out there. But that stuff is laying on the street for 3 days under that scenario, illegally. Whereas if the councilman would have just picked up his phone, did the Hammond 311, boom, the next day it would be picked up. It's technology. And we're trying to like get everybody into the habit of just blasting us with those work orders so that Felix and Bill and the police chief and all of our departments that use 311 have your message the very next day when we get to work. It works, guys. So if you don't know what 311 is, please download it. It's worth it. It's free. You know, we don't send you spam or anything like that. It's a tool for you to talk to us. So thank you for bringing that up.
Okay, next question. Both of these are regarding State Street. One is wrong way driving on State Street, and the other is trees and weeds across the street in an empty lot.
Okay, this is a perfect example of, I guess we could talk about it, but there's not a lot to talk about. Sometimes people come to Mayor's Night Out and they have like a hit list of things they want us to do. Perfect opportunity. Is that got a name and address on it? Or address where we could do the work?
Name and address, phone number.
Forward that to the appropriate department head, okay?
Will do.
Awesome. You want to follow that up, State Street person? Or Felix, is there anything you need to talk about? Maybe it's the police chief on this issue? It sounds like a tree may be blocking signs on State Street.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it, make sure everything's signed properly, do not enters one way, stuff like that.
Right, because sometimes the trees are overgrown and they block signs and then we don't see them and we drive the wrong way. Chief, I don't know, sounds like somebody's driving the wrong way on State Street.
Yeah, what I would do is have my traffic enforcement unit goes over there and start writing some tickets for the one-way drivers.
So let's make sure Chief Andy gets a copy of that and we can get Felix a copy of that. Anybody else that needs it, okay?
Will do.
I have a follow-up over here.
All right. Hi, sir. You're the State Street gentleman, maybe.
Yeah, I live on State Street, sir.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, sir. Constantly, one way. I live on State Street, and constantly one way, every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're on this.
Yep.
I promise. And your name is on there. I'm going to have these guys follow up directly with you, okay? We're on it, I promise you. See, this is a perfect example of why you put it down. We know where the problem is. We know the gentleman that wrote the problem down. I forward it to the police. I forward it to Public Works. I bet you tomorrow you see people like cleaning trees up, and then over the next couple of days you'll see some officers out there, okay? Thank you, sir. That's why we do this. All right.
Okay, another sign question. Can a sign, cross traffic does not stop, be placed by 171st Place and Northcott Avenue?
Felix,
Yes, sir.
Busy today.
Yeah.
One of the things
absolutely.
Public Works also does is make all of our signs.
Yeah, most of them, 95%.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. 171st and Northcott.
Okay. Forward that to Public Works.
Will do.
This is very businesslike today.
Used to be around 50 million, and now probably around 35 million, if not accurate.
No.
Every-
but I'll correct it. But
Every councilman used to have access to some of the monies, but no more. Councilmen used to have more understanding to what is needed in the district. Why was that changed?
Councilman Bob, do you want to follow that up? Because sometimes you can figure out exactly who wrote the question when it comes off. So it was changed because it wasn't working. And yes, we used to get $33 million a year, and the council people would get about $3 million a year in the district. And then the state of Indiana and all of its wisdom and our local commissioners and all of their wisdom decided Hard Rock should be the location of the new casino. And they changed the rules on us. And it sucked all the customers away from East Chicago's casino and most of the customers away from Hammond's casino. And then that wasn't bad enough. The commissioners followed suit and gave us a right hook right to the jaw when they used taxpayer money to build a $100 million convention center on the Hard Rock location. It decimated the casino gaming industry. We used to get $33 million a year in that ballpark. Now it's going to be closer to 10. So if I was a Hammond resident, I would want to figure out the people that screwed us. And I'm going to tell you who screwed us when they're running for re-election, okay? I will. They screwed us. Politicians screwed Hammond, and they really screwed East Chicago. You want to take a look at the casinos? Drive around at night. Go to the casinos. Go to each of the parking lots. A fun little exercise. I did it. I went to Hard Rock. It was like a Thursday night. It was slammed. There was cars everywhere. And then I drove to East Chicago. And there was like 12 cars in the parking garage that night. It was like enough for staff. It was like incredibly empty. And then I went to Hammond. I was expecting the worst. Hammond was doing okay that night, but it was still less than half of what Hard Rock did. So just use this little example. Hammond's Horseshoe Casino got rocked by the state of Indiana, and then it got a right hook from the county commissioners. So like, if you're mad as a Hammond resident, don't take it out on me. Don't say, why did you change the rules? We got no money. We got it taken away from us, $25 million. By the way, I want to remind everybody, when I was paying attention to this when it was going down, I also happened to be running for Congress 1 year later. And this is the reason I got beat up. And Gary and I have no friends because they were mad at me. Because when you were Mayor of Hammond, you tried to block Hard Rock Casino going into 8094. You're damn right I did. I was doing my job as mayor. Do you want a congressman that doesn't do their job first? I'm not selling out Hammond to become your congressman. But they wanted me to sell it out. They wanted me to be like, la, 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 nothing's going to happen to Hammond if you change the rules and put Hard Rock over there. I fought, guys. I knew what this was going to do to our budget. And it did. It did. It rocked our world. So then I was very shocked when it was brought forward they were going to do a $100 million expansion of taxpayer money right there at Hard Rock. Guess what I did? I fought. I know what this is going to do to us. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Commissioners, boom. Yeah, take the money. You think it's going to get better? It's not. Casino gaming is history in Hammond. Unless they want to do something different, and I got no indications they want to do anything different. Meaning, like, build a hotel, compete. Hard Rock, or excuse me, Horseshoe, compete. No, we don't want to compete. So we got a boat that doesn't want to compete. We got everybody focused on Hard Rock, and then I'm getting asked questions. What are you going to do about gaming money? I can't force people to go to Horseshoe. We screwed Hammond. They screwed Hammond. They did. That's where I sit, and I'm bitter about it. I don't know if you can tell, I'm pissed. I'm still pissed. It happened, the latest iteration happened a few months ago. I'm no better. I'm no happier. This isn't going away. And they're going to come. They're going to be knocking on your door like, hey, I'm running for election. I love Hammond. I'm going to remind you who it was. Loud and clear. Because when they knock on your door, I want you to be like, aren't you the one that screwed us? They are. Play this tape in a few months. Play this tape in a couple years. I promise, I'm not letting this go. But yeah, so the question is about casino gaming. It's destroyed, Bob. It's destroyed. It's not like it was when you were councilman. When you were councilman, we were the big dog. Now, we're the fourth biggest in the state and dropping quickly. Casino gaming's history. Thankfully, your mayor, 20-something years ago, decided to start investing in something called water and making deals with communities that was going to give us money because people could stop gambling, but they can't stop drinking water. And what we did was we turned a small little water company that was barely doing $1 million a year into a behemoth. It's making over $20 million a year, and that revenue is not going to shrink. So it's not happy days. The casino industry is destroyed in Hammond. East Chicago, that casino is ghost town. You want to follow it up? Councilman? Okay.
Okay. Do Hammond residents have a beach? This past weekend, I was at the very far end with my two 6-year-old nieces. A man with his family came in with a jet ski close to me and my girls. I thought he had to be over where the boats are. He used some choice language, I won't repeat it, and that he could be anywhere he wanted. Is there no designated area for Hammond residents?
Okay. Smitty? Hi, Smitty's Jeff Smith's the director of the Hammond Marina and the Hammond Port Authority. I imagine this happened on our beach. Do you know anything about this?
I don't know if it was on our side of the beach or if it was on the Walhalla side, but yeah, we have two separate beaches. We have the beach right next to the marina, and then West Beach is all the way down towards the data center. In between that area, it's called Boater Beach, and that's where all the boats back up to. If a jet ski came in within the last week or so, the beaches are actually closed because the lifeguards, we don't have any lifeguards anymore. So there's no swimming, but we do, obviously people go on the lake still. If somebody was out there on a jet ski and came close to the shore, there was nobody, lifeguards, to report it to me or to us. But right now the beaches are closed because the lifeguards are gone.
Does anybody want to? Hi, ma'am. We'll be right with you, okay?
Oh, good. My name is Deborah Bunger.
Hi, Deborah.
I'm 70. I was born here in Hammond, lived here my whole life. And,
Thank you.
you know, gradually we used to have Whiting and Walhalla and where the casino is and everything. And now we're down to that little section way at the other end by, I guess, the power plant or whatever that is.
It's the two sections. You got that section and you got the section close to the marina.
Well, you know, I just want to be away from all the boats and stuff as far as I can go. And me and my girls were there. They're just playing in the sand and right there at the shore. But this guy and his family just kind of took over there and weren't more than 50 feet. Like for me, to you maybe, you know, he comes in with his jet ski. And, you know, I don't want to be actually there around the boats, but it's gotten so crowded, you know, and I know there's nothing you can do because a lot of those boats are, I guess, from Chicago, Illinois, you know, come in there. When I'm sitting there all day, I see them head back out and towards Chicago. But I guess, you know, I have called the Coast Guard and stuff, and apparently there's nothing. But I thought, you know, that since we just have that little area left, that maybe there could be some, you know, just kind of rules and regulations. They have that whole huge section, you know, of the beach area. And I just thought it was rude. Plus, he was very rude when I just asked him if he should be, you know, over by the boats. And he really was very nasty.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Yeah, well, I know it's.
I think with the lifeguards, that probably would have been handled differently, right?
Yeah, they would have called us right away, and we would have sent somebody down
But
there.
now with the lifeguards being gone, it's sort of like we're relying on people to be kind, and unfortunately, that's really hard nowadays.
So during the summer months, then what are the rules for all those boat people that back up to the shore?
Well, the boats could do that, right? But what about the jet skis?
Same area. It's the Boater Beach. It's like I said. It's in between the two beaches. There's no really a beach. It's all rock.
Oh, you're saying in front of the bird sanctuary?
Yes.
Gotcha.
And it's all rock. You can't walk from one beach to the other unless the water's real low at certain times of year. That's where they're supposed to back in or anchor in, things like that.
So you're saying, Jeff, that with the lifeguards all being back to college, you don't really have the manpower out there that we usually have during the summer, and because of that, we're sort of on our own when we get out there.
And the
Because
lifeguard.
that is literally 95% of your manpower is under the age of 25, right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah, and during the summer when the lifeguards are out there, they have radios that go right to our office and security. So if anything ever happens, we're out there in seconds down the beach and trying to figure out what's going on. And a lot of the boaters too that back in there are some of our marina boaters that's where they literally start their boat, go out for 5 minutes, back in, and then they stay there all day. And there's a lot of boaters that get on other boaters' cases if they're not in the right area. So that could have just been, if the guy yelled and screamed at you in profanity, then he's probably not a good boater. He's not a good neighbor. That's my good saying lately.
Well, thanks. I didn't know even in
saying.
the summer months if there's regulations about, you know, our beach areas and whether we even had a beach area left anymore for the residents.
I'm sorry that happened to you, ma'am.
Yeah. Well, you know, we don't have the pools in the parks anymore, and so it, you know, and I'm not a wealthy person, so to really afford to have the kids and all these sports and the Y, I was really looking forward to the new Y, but apparently, you know, it's like really overrun. And I even tried to work there, but I'm like, yeah, no. you
Okay.
know.
Well, thanks. I appreciate you. Sorry about that happening. So. Okay.
What are Hammond's plans for the old South Shore Gateway Station's parking lots from Johnson to Toll?
Right now, it's still owned by NICD, I believe, until the transaction takes place, if we're in possession of it. But keep in mind, that's between two railroad tracks, so that limits its potential. So I'm not sure whose question it is, but hi. So like being between the two railroads, we talked about this, and I mean, we talked about condos, but who wants to live between two railroad tracks? It's sort of a challenging location. So, Ann, do you want to jump in on this a little bit? This is Ann. Ann Taylor. Ann is a member of the Regional Development Authority, and she's also Hammond's head of planning and development.
Yep, that's correct. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, we kind of have our eyes on this large parcel, but residential would probably not work there because of the lines. So we're kind of thinking maybe we can do some commercial, retail, offices, because that's, staggered in and out there. So, yep, we got our eyes on it. It is still owned by the railroad, like I said, so kind of have to wait. But
Well, that's it. I was kind of thinking that too.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and I
It
was
has great
thinking, "Why?
potential."
That's just sitting here. That would be a great place to go shopping.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, believe me, it'd be wonderful if somebody came along and said, we want this piece. But we are working with Nick D on another piece of property further down the street, what we're calling the Gateway. I know you mentioned that. The Gateway Station is going to be phenomenal. And that's way more marketable because it's not surrounded by rail lines. You want to talk a little bit
That's
about
right.
that?
Just north of the current Gateway Station, there's about a 16-acre parcel. Some of it is owned by us, some of the railroad's deeding us the remainder of the property, and we're looking to put up mixed-use residential there, starting hopefully as soon as next year.
So we are working with Nick D on that project. And I know yesterday, I appreciate, do you have follow-up, ma'am, or is that?
I'm fine. Thank you for the information.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Scott, yesterday you attended a meeting in the 4th District that was held about the new South Shore Station. Could you talk a little bit about that, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. And just one final note on your question, ma'am, that when we talked to Nick D, they wanted to reserve it for overflow parking for the time being. Once all the rate service starts, and just see what their numbers are. So that was what their position was. But yesterday it was hosted at Anthem Church. Dean and a consultant did a presentation 2 times to community members to discuss not necessarily the train, but how it's going to impact the community over there. We're really trying to be sensitive to the fact on the front side that the train is some form of a disruption, and there's going to be more traffic coming down on the street than there was previously. So the exercise yesterday, and Dean, if you want to jump in here, was primarily to gather feedback from the residents, and we had a couple different ways that they could do that. Identify what quality of life improvements they want, what things need improvement, what are the priorities for us to consider, and within a month or 2 we should have a report back what the community was asking for. So the rate service is still scheduled to start January 1st. You know, the big delay was not with Hammond, it was down at the Munster Dyer Station. And then they also had to do some significant repairs to the existing work, which you may have seen some closures along the rail because they didn't ground it properly. But all that should still be completed by January 1st. And then we're going to, I don't know if you want to mention it, Mayor, then downtown can be triggered after that.
Yeah, right. Dean, did you have anything you wanted to add on that?
That's
Okay.
completely accurate.
Yeah, before we get to the next question, I want to recognize the gentleman that's in the audience. He's here today. He's running for Lake County Sheriff, but that's not the reason I'm introducing him. I'm introducing him because about 10 years ago, we had a horrible murder in the city of Hammond. It's a murder I still remember to this day. Lauren Cavillo was the young lady's name, and it was a shocking gang brutality, and a young lady that was trying to protect other kids lost her life, and it was shocking and horrible, and it was one of those cases where you're like, I hope that the feds take this case. And they did, led in part through an agent from ATF that grew up in the city of Hammond, Jason Gore. Jason Gore took the lead on that case and ultimately prosecuted the people responsible for that. And that's a big win for the city of Hammond, that monster that killed that young lady got put behind bars. So I wanted to say thank you for being, he goes to Mayor's Night Out and he never really gets introduced. I just want to say thanks, Jason Gore, for being here. It's good to see you. If you want to talk to him after Mayor's Night Out, I'm sure he'd be willing to talk to you. I know he's probably pretty busy, but you know, he has a lot of interesting stories about his time with the ATF. So thanks for being here. So.
Mayor, why are there bike decals on the street side of 173rd along Hessville Park on the street?
Because it's a bike trail.
It's by design, Mayor.
Yeah.
That we're talking about 173rd was recently resurfaced.
Share the lane, right?
Yeah, people felt like we put the symbol on the wrong side of the white line. If you recall, or as the residents may recall, I want to say about 4 or 5 years ago, Public Works striped that area and other areas as share the road. When we looked at the cross section of the street in that location, we could dedicate a bike lane going eastbound, so you'll see the eastbound striping is there and in place. On the west side, We didn't have enough room to accommodate a full bike lane, so we placed the symbol on the left-hand side of the line to allow parking against the curb and to allow the bike lanes to travel in public. So that's the motorist notification that bikes are allowed in the street.
Thank you. And then I'm sure we can follow this up, but before we do, I want to talk about 173rd in general. I was driving down it the other day, and my wife complimented me on it, how nice it is driving down 173rd. Even though we were going 30 miles an hour and I had a person going incredibly slow in front of me, I agreed with her. Because the average speed on 173rd before we reduced it to single lane was probably 45 to 50 miles an hour. 2 lanes in each direction. It was insane how fast we were driving on a street that's designed for only 1 lane. So we bit the bullet, much like, talking about speed bumps. We bit the bullet, slowed down the traffic, and it's much safer. And believe me, that echoes with what your question is earlier, sir, okay? And I know when we initially did it, people weren't very happy about it. The people that like to go down 173rd real fast are like, Mayor, I got stuck behind somebody going the speed limit the other day. Like, I know, sucks, I know, it's really slow. But I want to remind everybody, we have a university with 10,000 students that crosses 173rd regularly over there, and we need to have a safe area. And it's definitely a lot slower. And I tell you what, those bike trails, Dean, are busy. On 173rd, the students use them all the time. It's a great connection to get to the bike trail system. The students, the athletes from Purdue, they go over to Dowling Park, use it. I saw them jogging down it the other day, the cross-country team. It's pretty cool what's going on in that part of the city. It really is. We slowed the traffic down. It seems like the university's taking over a little bit more. I think that's a good thing. They're building a dorm on the other side of the street. That's a big deal to me. That tells me that one day they could keep building dorms on that side of the street if they want to. That was a big deal. The dorms they built south of 73rd, all filled. The ones they building on the north side of 173rd, that'll be filled also. A strong Purdue Northwest is good for Hammond. So I think we should do everything we can in that part of the city to encourage bike trails and slower traffic. And I live there, and I have a Shelby, man. I don't like driving the speed limit as much as you do, I promise. So, but I do. So.
Okay, along with bike trails, another one. I ride the bike trails often in Hammond and elsewhere. I've been riding them for the past 3 years, and some areas are rough to bike over.
Yes.
Is it possible to reseal and level the areas that need to be sealed and leveled?
Well, great question. Very true. Some of the bike trails, I see Tom Kazmerzak in the audience, and the reason I'm saying, hi, Tom, nice to see you. Tom's mother, Kathy, I know you know this. She was really into bike trails in the 80s, and that was very unusual. And she was on the council, and her and my dad worked together on the original bike trail that we have. It goes right through, like the old YMCA, right through there. And it really was a bike trail that went nowhere, but it was the thought that got us started. Now if you look at that bike trail, it goes everywhere. You could go to Crown Point from that point right there. You could go to Chicago from that point right there. And I always think about Kathy because she's the one that got that started. And she's still with us. I'm talking like past tense. She's still with us, but she did get that started. And she was a councilwoman a long time ago, and I don't think it's been resurfaced since then. Right, Dean?
Correct.
Which is why I'm happy to pass the microphone to Dean so he can announce something.
Yeah, we're happy to announce that we received bids for the resurfacing of the Erie Lackawanna Trail from Sibley, where it begins, all the way to 8094. Milestone Contractors is our contractor, and if you haven't noticed, they're out there now. On Monday, they start milling and resurfacing that trail.
Yeah, I did notice. They closed down the trail, and thank you, I appreciate it. The weird thing about bike trails is the cyclists are happy, the joggers are happy, the kids that use it to go to school are happy, and then everybody else hates them. God, it's so weird. Like, you build a bike trail, and they're like, you're such a jerk for building that bike trail. I'm like, what? So anyway, I'm really happy about the bike trail system in Hammond. I think it's one of a kind. We're blessed because we had so many rail lines that crossed through our city, and then they went vacant, and then we turned all those rail lines into bike trails, and it's like pretty magical for a cyclist. So anyway, thanks for the question. Is there a follow-up on that? How are we doing, Kathy? All right.
Mayor, the next one is the written question, and it's 2 parts.
I don't want anybody to think that we're screening questions. We don't, okay? But sometimes we get a question that's really, really, really long. It's like an essay, sort of. And then we try to like condense them so that we're not reading an essay off, because all due respect to the person who wrote this, if I read one essay off, next Mayor's Night Out, everybody's going to have an essay, and for long we're going to be sitting here listening to like, so we try to keep the questions tight, and so we tried to break this long question down into tighter questions, right?
Yes.
And I want this person to know that wrote this. We're going to follow up on this, and we're going to read it, and we're going to forward it to the right departments, but at Mayor's Night we're trying to condense it for the interest of, you know.
So they both questions are about Southeastern Avenue
Okay.
and has some suggestions on maybe possible solutions.
Okay, so first off, we're definitely going to get a copy of this to Dean, right?
Yes.
And city engineer. Well, why don't we copy Councilman Warple so he knows what's going on also, okay?
Okay. And basically, it's Southeastern from 175th north to Columbia. The traffic has increased.
I use
and
it
a shortcut.
every day of my life. Like every day of my life. Southeastern is key for me where I live, so this is something I know well.
And it's the speed often exceeds the speed limits.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
And the
And
next,
I promise you I'll slow down tomorrow immediately, okay? But like, very true. And it's got a dangerous curve, and there's people that park on that dangerous curve. And sometimes if you're going real fast and you expect the slow lane to continue, you'll find yourself slamming right into a parked car. Fair? Like, these are legitimate issues, okay? Why don't we just go, yeah.
yeah, you covered the second part of the question was the S curve.
Yes, the S-curve is very dangerous. I didn't look at the question, by the way. Hi, nice to see you, Deacon Matt. How you doing, sir?
How you doing today, Mayor?
This is Matt Veras. I've known Matt for a very long time. He's a great person from St. John Bosco. He's a deacon there.
Thank you.
He's a great Hammond resident, so thank you for coming
Thank
out.
you. Thank you very much. The second part is talking about the intersection at White Oak Avenue in Southeastern. I'm witnessing more and more traffic. They're not even stopping. Now, even if you're going southbound on Southeastern, you hit that S curve. When you're coming out, a lot of people don't see that sign.
Yeah.
So
It's
one
like
of
a
the-
step five. You're talking the five-way intersection?
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
I
Yes.
always think that should be, yeah.
So one of
Dare
the
I say it?
suggestions I had, you know, for one, lessening the speed, like what you did at 173rd, rather than 4 lanes, knock it down to 2. That'll bring down the speed. But then also for that stop sign, I see other places where they have stop signs that have the flashing lights that are around it, the solar powered.
Yeah, Felix, you got this? You
Because
listen-
as they're coming out that S turn,
Yes, sir.
they're not.
These are great recommendations.
Yeah. Thank you.
They are great recommendations. And, you know, there's parts around the city, you know, I drive around Indiana, and one of the big things in the state, especially closer to Indy you get, is all the traffic circles, right? And, you know, we have a lot of five-way intersections, that being one of them. And those are, I'm not saying we're going to put a roundabout there, but it would be a type of, location you could do it. I'm not saying we are. There's probably not enough land. That's another thing I've learned is these also require a lot of space, right, Dean?
It does. We put together a study to try to see if we could fit a roundabout there, and it wouldn't score high enough to get NERC funding. So,
Which is important. 'Cause
yeah, you're looking at a couple $1 million to build that. We would have to take some property.
we'd have to take a couple houses or something.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Right.
yeah. So that's sort of where we are.
Because we've looked at a couple locations in the city, but we're not saying no to your idea. It's just that is a problem intersection, and it is way too fast on Southeastern. Acknowledge. Steve, could you grab a microphone?
Matt, over here. I heard your concerns a lot from a lot of the neighbors around there. We had to put a guardrail up around that one house over there. But in defense of the police department, I have seen Officer Taylor on his motorcycle because I take my grandson to school every day that way, and I grew up right behind your house. In fact, we used to stand in your backyard and throw snowballs at cars on Southeastern. So, but
And you still got elected councilman. It's a miracle.
Officer Taylor is out there a lot, and I see him writing a lot of tickets out there, and that's mainly on the drop-offs in the mornings. I see him out there all the time. But I guess I got a call the other day. There was a wreck over there where somebody ran into that guardrail on that S-curve there, so. Thank you, Mayor.
Let me pass to the mic to the police chief. Chief, you heard what's going on. And I know you drive around the city a lot. Southeastern, they could get excessive speeds on that street, right?
Yes, I have a couple of my traffic guys that are here. They will be out there. But just so you know, we have about, 4,000 stop signs in this whole city. So for me, I appreciate if we just don't have to wait for a mayor's night out. Call me, and I'll have somebody there immediately, you know. We're trying to get to every complaint that you can give us, the whole city. We're going to do it the best we can. But let's not just wait till mayor's night out. Give me a call, give the station a call, and I guarantee you we'll have even use the 311 app, and we'll have somebody over there. Okay.
Thank you, Deacon Matt.
I appreciate it. Thank
Yes, sir.
you. Thank you.
It's a definite good complaint, definitely. And I wanted to point out, there's a lot of information on that form, and we're going to go through the entire form, I promise you, okay? I don't want anybody to think that you prepare for Mayor's Night Out, and just because we didn't read it out, we don't throw it away, I promise you. We photocopy that question, we forward it to each department that's affected, okay? So thank you for doing that.
Mayor, we have a resident that has an idea for the Veterans Park up by the marina where our big U.S. flag is at.
Oh, great. Let's go. One of the challenges with this park, I'll start off, is the same challenge that Whiting had in Whiting Park, is Lake Michigan is a mean monster sometimes, and it destroys things that are close to it. Like Whiting Park, for instance. Whiting Park was gorgeous, and then one Halloween, Mother Nature got involved and destroyed the entire park. So we put a really nice flag park together up there, and I think it might have even been the same storm that Mother Nature sort of destroyed that area as well. So that is definitely one of our challenges there. So what we're talking about is next time you're on the Skyway driving to or from Chicago, take a look at the data center, and you'll notice a big American flag. That's Indiana. We put it there on purpose, like, welcome to Indiana. I wanted to have an Indiana flag there also, but it was really expensive, and we'd have had to do a whole separate pole, and we were pretty tight, and it's really expensive to keep putting those flags up there. We have to actually repurpose those flags, right, Smith?
We do send them out once or twice to get repurposed, but that's, you know, they don't last forever, obviously, and then I think after you get them back, it's probably 3 or 4 months, and then we got to put another one up.
Yeah, we have like a rotation of flags to keep the one that's flying always looking good. So anyway, what's the great idea here?
Well, I have a proposal for the city of Hammond to honor veterans, improve the quality of life, and a place to plant the trees that have been removed for various reasons. It's a win-win for you, Mayor.
Okay, I love it. I love win-wins.
I know. So, my committee and I are proposing a Veterans Park that would start from the bird sanctuary, following the path around the lake to the flagpole there. And we would be planting trees, and we would be planting native plants, and whatever else the community would like to have there. We know the data centers are already there, but we'd like to have some nature.
If we could
Some green-
work around the data centers, I think we could definitely work with you on this.
Because it's all about the quality of life.
Yes, ma'am. I ride my bike up here. So, like, I would like to have, I know we had a Mayor's Night Out previously where there was criticism there was no tree canopy there. And I was literally watching that Mayor's Night Out today. And then it's funny that this came up because it was sort of like the same topic that I watched on a Mayor's Night Out last year. So, but
Because I belong to a native plant group that meets at Gibson Woods in Hammond, so I could provide, well, we could provide the plants, and I know people that have trees, and we could talk to other people and get things going. And I think make it a community effort. I'm not trying to do this by myself by any means, but I think we could work on this and really let people come to a place. You're talking about a small, we have such a small marina for such a large city that people could really enjoy, you know, the lakefront.
could you do me a favor? After the meeting, could you go up and talk to my chief of staff, Scott? And
I'm
then,
going to talk to him about something else too.
good.
Yes, I will.
And
be
then
happy
what
to.
we'll do is try to get together with you and whoever you're working with, and we'll see if we could peacefully coexist. Because, you know, this area is important for the city of Hammond as well, and I know you know that because you're pointing out in the areas where the data center is not. As long as we have room to put the data centers that we're trying to put there, and we build around it with trees, wonderful.
I think I think the map kind of shows how
Yes, ma'am.
it kind of goes around
Yep.
the data centers.
I think we could work together, okay? So I'm going to have Scott follow this up on my behalf, and I appreciate you bringing it up. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Sure.
Tomorrow night at Mohawks from 4 to 7, we are having a chicken dinner, and we are inviting everybody to come.
What's the cause? Is it just for the Mohawks, to support the Mohawks?
It's supporting the Hammond Democratic Precinct
Oh, yeah,
Organization.
yeah. What am I talking about? I knew that.
Just to kind of
Sorry,
refresh your
Scott.
Okay?
I did know that. I have it on my calendar. Thank you. No, you know what's interesting about the Mohawks chicken dinner? The Mohawks, they're incredible cooks. It's incredible. You go to this place and their food is off the charts. They should serve food regularly, but if you ever have a chance to go to a fish fry or a chicken dinner at the Mohawks, it's worth every penny. So, and the beer is like $1 each. It's super cheap. So tomorrow, chicken dinner, Mohawks, 4 to 7. Thank you.
Mayor, that's it for written questions. We do have 2 announcements.
All right. I'm going to give you guys a chance to keep Mayor's Night Out alive. I mean, I'm not going to beg, okay? But if you want to keep Mayor's Night Out alive, you go see Christy or Naomi, and you fill out the forms. And we will do 2 announcements, and I think I have an announcement for my staff also. So, anybody got announcements? Hi, Matt.
Hi.
Matt's from the Disabilities Commission, in addition to his position at the Hammond Sanitary District.
That's right.
Yeah.
So this is a Disabilities Commission thing. So everybody, please mark your calendars. On November 21st, the Disabilities Commission has 2 events happening simultaneously at the Hammond Sportsplex. Okay, so first off, it's the annual Mayor's Commission on Disabilities blood drive. We do one every year. So all the blood that gets donated is sourced to local hospitals. The second thing that's happening is we're doing our first lunch and learn specifically tailored for veterans with disabilities, because of course November is Veterans Awareness Month. And we're going to have 5 separate speakers there from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. November 21st, the Sportsplex is going to be great. We have somebody coming in to talk about service dogs. We have somebody coming in from the from the VFW. It's just all about resources available for disabled veterans. So please come out and attend. Lunch will be provided. Like I said, it is a lunch and learn, and it's Friday, November 21st at the Hammond Sportsplex. So go there, have some lunch, go ahead and give a pint of blood. Be a very happy day.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Okay, Juan, how you doing? Juan, we're going to announce a job fair.
Yeah, hi, Mayor. Thank you. Juan Moreno, Economic Development. Tomorrow is our 21st annual job fair at the historical Hammond Civic Center. We have over 65 businesses in government, education, gaming, healthcare, sales, finance, and manufacturing. This is one of the largest job fairs in Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland. So if you're seeking a new career path, underemployed or unemployed, I strongly recommend that you attend. Well, happy to see you and help you out tomorrow. Thank you.
Thanks, Juan. When is it again, Juan? Tomorrow?
Oh, I'm sorry. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay, thank you. Hi, hey, Chief, what's going
Hey,
on?
Mayor.
This is Chief Bernie from the Hammond Fire Department.
Yeah, again, Bernie Grazzolia, Hammond Fire Chief. I'd like to invite everyone to our fire prevention open house. It's going to be held on Saturday, October 11th from 10 a.m. to 2 at our new fire station number 2 at 2403 Calumet Avenue. Please stop by. We're going to have plenty of games, fun, food, refreshments for all ages, the whole family. Come on by for prizes. We hope to see everyone there soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Hey, Jim, what's up?
Hey, Mayor, thanks. Since we're in a park building, I wanted to promote the new golf simulators that we have at the Sportsplex, the Swingers Golf Club and Lounge. Just cut the ribbon on it last Friday. It's pretty cool up there, so if you like hitting golf balls and watching sports, I think they have the Bears game on Sundays. We have the Bears game here, too, if you want to stop by. Check out the new golf simulators over there at the Sportsplex.
Yeah, recommendation, I don't think we should give people golf clubs and show the Bears games anymore, so that's just not a good idea. So, yeah, Swingers is great if you get a chance. If you like to golf in the winter, I imagine these are going to be very busy at the Hammond Sportsplex. You know, I could just see a dad dropping off his daughter to go play volleyball, grabbing his clubs and going upstairs, and that's exactly why we built it there. So it's upstairs where the old Union Lounge converted to this new golf bar. Really cool. So any other?
Alex has one more.
Hi. Hey, Tom, what's going on? Nice shirt. This is Tom Novak. He's the
Yeah,
assistant
Tom
city
Novak.
planner for the city of Hammond.
Yeah.
Apparently, he went to the Oasis concert at Soldier Field.
Yes, and it was amazing. Thank
Good.
you.
I'm glad. I'm very jealous.
But, you know, I'm also the president of the Hammond Historical Society, and we're going to have our annual Oak Hill Cemetery tour. Do it every year, the first Sunday of October, October 5th, 1 to 4 p.m., $5, under 18 free. We're celebrating the 140th year of Oak Hill. It was founded by our first mayor, Mayor Toll. So come on out, learn about some Hammond history, and we'll see you there.
The first mayor founded a cemetery.
Yes.
I didn't even know that was part of my job.
Yeah.
I got to work on that. Thank you,
But
Tom.
I also want to thank Adrian Santos, North Township, for hosting us every year. They're the ones who actually run the cemetery, so.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
sweetheart. Thanks, Adrian.
Mayor, one more.
Yeah.
Lake
ahead,
County Household Hazardous Waste Pickup is Saturday from 9 to 1, 601 Conkey.
Could we say this again?
Yes.
So, like, what kind of things do you bring to Lake County Hazardous Waste Saturday?
Anything from household batteries to antifreeze to paint.
The
pretty
stuff
much-
you're not supposed to throw in the sewer.
Exactly. Yes. Pretty much anything.
Oil.
Yes. Oil and anything that is in your household that could be liquid.
So what do? You just come Saturday and you just bring these old jars and you
Lake County comes and they set up a station in our parking lot and they pretty much run it. We have some people working and to give them a hand and everything like that. But
Is there a lot of people that come to this?
Yeah.
That's great. All right. Any other questions from the audience? I appreciate the 5th District very much. I live in the 5th District. Do me before we leave. All my department heads are up here. I do this everywhere I go, okay? If you live in the 5th District of the City of Hammond, please raise your hand right now. All right, we're doing pretty well in the 5th. It's incredible. Oh, thanks. Everybody in the audience did too. We do this everywhere we go, and it's interesting. We do a good job of hiring from every district in the City of Hammond. And I know at the end of the day where all these people live, they live in Hammond because that's a law. That's what we require. So anyway, I appreciate you all for being here. I love the 5th District. I appreciate the councilman in the 5th District. I appreciate the residents that let us do our job so well. God bless you all. Stay safe. Let's make America a better place to live, okay? Let's all work together and love each other and like each other. Try to make this a better place to live. I'll do my part as mayor, I promise you. Thank you guys. God bless. Thanks for coming to Mayor's Night Out, and thank you to Kathy again. Hi, Nabil.